All right, guys, so in a strange twist of fate and more bad news coming out of the Biden administration, Jen Psaki, who, according to Chris Wallace, in the Looney Tunes world that he apparently lives in, is one of the best press secretaries ever.
Donaldson of this White House press corps. And since I was working in the press corps when Sam Donaldson is there, that's a very grudging compliment on my part. And Jen Psaki, I think, is one of the best press secretaries ever.
Tested positive for COVID-19, right? So this news just came out. This is breaking news that is shocking a whole lot of people, right? Because the Democrats and people like Jen Psaki, they pride themselves and, they're supposed to be following all the rules, right? They're vaccinated, they socially distance, they wear masks, they do everything they're supposed to do, right? And they always talk down on the peasants who are not doing everything they're supposed to do as super spreaders. But one of their own has now caught the virus. And I want to say, first and foremost, up front, I wish Miss Jen Psaki a speedy recovery. I hope that she is doing well. Okay. But like I said, I gotta say, I'm surprised, but I'm not surprised. Right. And the reason why is because we've seen this whole time that these Democrats, they don't follow their own rules. So Miss Psaki can sit here and act like she's holier than thou all she wants when she's at the podium talking, and the whole Biden administration can do that. But we know behind closed doors, they're not necessarily as concerned as they claim they are, right? And basically her story here about what happened with her kind of confirms that's probably what happened, right? She probably wasn't necessarily following the rules behind closed doors, and at home and around her family, like, some Democrats are telling people to do. But again, before I get into this, anytime, I talk about the virus, the vaccine, the pandemic, I gotta give my disclaimer here. I'm not making any claims about the virus, the vaccine, the pandemic. I'm not making claims whatsoever. If you have any questions about the virus, the vaccine, the pandemic, mask, if you have any questions about that stuff, please consult your doctor. I am simply discussing public policy and public policy only. All right. So, Psaki last saw Biden a day after he coughed into his hand and shook hands with the public while maskless. Yeah, they're not really as careful as they claim to be. White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki said Sunday she has tested positive for COVID-19 despite being vaccinated. On Wednesday, in coordination with senior leadership at the White House and the medical team, I made the decision not to travel on the foreign trip with the president due to a family emergency, which was members of my household testing positive for COVID-19, Psaki said in a statement. Since then, I've quarantined and tested negative via PCR for COVID on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, she added. However, today I tested positive for COVID. While I have not had close contact in person with the president or senior members of the White House staff since Wednesday and tested negative for 4 days after that last contact, I am disclosing today's positive test out of abundance of transparency. Quote, I last saw the president on Tuesday when we sat outside more than 6 feet apart and wore masks, Psaki added. Thanks to the vaccine, I have only experienced mild symptoms, which has enabled me to continue working from home. I will plan to return to work in person at the conclusion of the 10-day quarantine following a negative rapid test, which is an additional White House requirement beyond CDC guidance, taken out of abundance of caution. Last Monday, a day before his last encounter with Psaki, President Biden coughed into his hand following a speech in New Jersey and proceeded to use it to shake hands with members of the public, all while not wearing a mask. All right, so let's watch Biden be Biden. This guy's lost, bro. Like, he's so lost. Let's rewind. He turned around, caught his hand. He tried to shake hands, and nobody's in front of him. Nobody's close. He's trying to shake. I think he's trying to shake somebody's hand. I think he's looking to shake somebody's hand. Okay, I could be wrong about this. Is he seeing a ghost? Right? Did Halloween come a little early? I don't know. But this is weird. Okay, maybe he's looking at somebody. Maybe I'm overanalyzing. No, he's lost, bro. Man, he's lost. Come on. He's not wearing a mask, And then he proceeds to, shake all these people's hands, right? After coughing and not wearing a mask. Okay, and again, these are the people that's trying to lecture other people on how to live their lives when they're not setting a good example. I'm just saying, right? Like, people try to say, oh, you're being nitpicky. No, I'm not. And if I am, then, hey, don't blame me. Blame yourselves because you guys decided that this was cool to do under the Trump administration, right? Because anytime one of Trump's staff or anybody in his administration tested positive for COVID, the media threw a fit, right? They said that the White House was full of super spreaders. I'm just saying. I wonder if the media is going to talk about this and start asking questions about, well, is Psaki behind closed doors and in the White House? Is she really following proper protocols? Is she really doing what she needs to do? Right? Are they going to ask questions about that the way they asked about the Trump administration? I highly, highly, highly doubt it, but they should. Because she's just not the only one of the top administration officials that are, getting exposed to this virus. Psaki's diagnosis also comes less than 2 weeks after Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas tests positive for COVID-19, just days following an event with the president. On October 19th, a fully vaccinated Mayorkas tested positive for COVID-19 as a part of routine pre-travel protocols. 3 days earlier, Mayorkas had attended the 40th annual National Peace Officers Memorial Service at the U.S. Capitol alongside Biden, where they were photographed just feet apart without masks. Later that day, Biden and First Lady Jill Biden were caught violating D.C.'s indoor mask mandate by walking through a high-end Georgetown restaurant without masks. Psaki brushed off a question about the incident in the restaurant, saying people should pay attention to the president's policies and not overly focus on moments in time. Yeah, sure. That's what you guys did under Trump. So, hey, I love how Democrats are now complaining, right, about what Republicans are doing to them that they did to Republicans and Trump when Trump was in the House. But this isn't just the only thing that is bad that's happened to the Biden administration. Even NBC this morning at Meet the Press came out and basically started roasting Biden about his terrible poll numbers. Take a look.
Good Sunday morning. Happy Halloween. We have a brand new NBC News poll out this morning that's filled with some scary news for the Democrats. The overarching message: Americans have lost their confidence in President Biden and their optimism for the country. At least they have right now. Just 22% of adults say we're headed in the right direction. A shocking 71% say we're on the wrong track. And that includes a near majority of Democrats who are saying that. President Biden's approval rating stands at a dismal 42% versus 54% who disapprove. Believe it or not, just 2 months ago, Mr. Biden was in positive territory, 49% approving, 48% disapproving. So what's pulling down the president's numbers? Well, look at this set of numbers. Just 37% say he has the ability right now to handle a crisis versus nearly a majority who say he does not. 37% also say he's competent and effective as president. 50% disagree with that description. What's more, Republicans, believe it or not, have double-digit leads in dealing with border security, inflation, crime, national security, the economy, and shockingly, on getting things done. Democrats hold generally smaller double-digit leads on dealing with climate change, the coronavirus, education, and abortion. And that's really it right now. It's not clear yet whether any deal struck by Democrats on the social spending and infrastructure bills will nudge Mr. Biden's numbers back into positive territory, or whether the damage to his reputation is more of a scar than a bruise. But this much is clear. About the only good news for Mr. Biden and the Democrats in this poll is that the midterm elections aren't for another year.
Bro, that's bad. That's terrible, right? That's terrible. Now, my personal opinion, I always think when these mainstream media polls come out, they're always worse than what, they actually are implying here because, again, the mainstream media sucks up to Biden, right? So, obviously, the numbers are going to be skewed a little bit, okay? And I was very surprised to see that the Democrats are winning on education. I don't understand for the life of me how anybody in this country can trust a Democrat with all the things that we've seen and heard from them, right, in regards to education. How can you trust a Democrat with your education? I don't understand how anybody can do that. But regardless, that's the only thing I was surprised about. All the other stuff, I'm not surprised about, right? Obviously, people think this country is headed in the wrong direction. Duh. Look at the border. Look at inflation. Afghanistan. Crime. Okay? The virus. I mean, they can't even stop the virus from spreading in their own White House, right? They can't even stop it from spreading there, right? So he hasn't even done good on that. He hasn't executed on any of his promises thus far, right? Things have just gotten worse and worse and worse and worse and worse under the Biden administration. And again, it's not looking good, man. It's not looking good because, again, look at what happened with, Psaki, poll numbers. I mean, it seems like every single day there's a new crisis for the Biden administration. There's something new that he's dealing with. Bruh. Hey, shouldn't have talked all that junk under Trump. That's all I'm going to say. It seems like Democrats are regretting a whole lot of things that they said and did under Trump. But like I tell you guys all the time with politics, the pendulum always swings the other way. But let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.